Hey everybody, Brooks here, Senior Pastor, First Baptist Church of the Islands. Hope you had a great holiday celebrating the 4th of July, maybe with some family or some friends, or maybe just yourself kind of in your own way. But that's a big day on our nation's calendar is when we celebrate our 245th anniversary of our independence from Great Britain. Of course, I won't go into the whole history lesson of it, but the Declaration of Independence is kind of a big deal in our nation's history, and that's what we celebrate this weekend. So for you, I hope it was a great one. Independence is great when you think about, one nation gaining independence from another nation and kind of becoming their own sovereign entity. But whenever you think about the Christian life in general, independence is not the goal. Independence is not the aim, and it's really not even a good thing. Sometimes we mistakenly think that the goal of the Christian life is to come to a place where we can independently finally stand on our feet spiritually. But the goal of the Christian life is exactly the opposite, is realizing we can't stand on our own 2 feet and that we need God to live his life through us. Thankfully, that's his goal and that's his desire anyway. So really, it's not a seeking after independence for the Christian, but the life aim of the believer is greater dependence. It was actually in the book of John, chapter 3, where John the Baptist is quoted, and he really hits it on the head. He says, speaking of his goal in life and of the person of Jesus, he says, he, Jesus, must increase, but I must decrease. He, Jesus, must increase, but I must decrease. That is the life verse of every successful believer who lives life successfully from God's perspective. That's the life verse of every successful ministry, for that matter, is that we decrease and that he increases, that we don't try to live independently on our own 2 feet in our own strength and power, but that we increasingly live more and more dependent on the person of Jesus. And that kind of runs contrary to the way we typically think. The Bible does that a lot of times. It says if you want to be the greatest, be the least, be the servant. It says if you want to ultimately gain life, then we have to lose our life. And here it's speaking of the successful life not coming from greater independence, but from greater dependence. And so how would you rate yourself there? Is your life lived primarily in your own strength, kind of in your own power, the best that you can do? Or is your life consistently lived in dependence upon the Lord? Kind of like, as we talked about recently, sort of like that branch that is engrafted into the main tree or into the vine. It's the tree, the vine, that bears fruit. That's what God wants for us, that we live dependently upon him. He produces his life through us. I hope that's your goal today. I hope that's your desire every day of your life, that we live life not with greater independence, but greater dependence upon him. And by the way, that's where we have joy. That's where we have hope. That's where we have peace, because we know that his plan for us is better than any that we could have for ourselves. Hey, pass this along. Hope it's been a blessing to you, and hope you today are able to celebrate in your own way, in a way that that is grateful for God's blessings for us as a nation, but also remembers that he wants you to be dependent on him every moment of every day. God bless you.